Hello, Grizzlies, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Xana K. Thank you so much to Know For Sure, the Tokyo Grizzly Cub for that. Thanks for all you do, G. Let's get you to 230K in 2023. Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Please hit the thumbs up, share this episode, hashtag Idaho students, Idaho homicides. If you want to use Bryan Kohberger, you can as well. We're talking the Idaho case and a little bit of the Murdaugh case as well, with our guest Sunny Slaughter, which let me show you this quickly first. So Sunny Slaughter is a federal law enforcement SME, a litigation consultant, a crimes against person expert, a crime media commentator, a Tedx Talks speaker, a CEO, and so much more. So Sunny's been with us before. If you missed that episode, please check it out. She's also got a YouTube channel. All the links to find Sunny are in the description box, and I will pin it in the comments for you afterwards as well. So, without further ado, let's welcome Sunny to the show.
Hey, Grizzly Nation, rise up. How you guys doing?
They're all so excited to see you.
I'm glad to see everyone. I am at another location this time, so everything looks different. And you guys, hello, Sandra. Baker, how you doing? It's so good. Hey, Bobby, love you too. We got a lot to do today. Oh, look, you guys have my heart. Well, listen, we're going to get into it today. G's got us rolling. And you guys might not like some of what I have to say, but you know, I love you anyway. I'm going to be honest.
We love it. That's it, that you guys. So we're going to get into what we're discussing today is, of course, the Idaho case in the context of Ann Taylor, Bryan Kohberger's public defender. So
Yeah.
let's first always start with, why do we cover this case? What is it about? It's about the victims. So let's remember them. I've chosen some of these photos and made them nice and big for you guys to see as well. Sorry, Rob is saying chat's over 1,000. Yes, Rob, I've made it subscribers only mode. Thank you so much. So let's remember Xana and Ethan Chapin. And then I've also got another slide for Maddie.
Yeah.
And Kaylee.
Yeah. Look at them.
Yes.
This is why. This is what, with all the hype and everything, G, we always have to center all four of them, no matter what. This is who we need justice for them.
Yes, exactly. So that is what we're focusing on, you guys. So thank you so much for being here. I think it's a very important conversation we're going to have today because, yeah, Sunny and I, we talk behind the scenes. We don't like hysteria. I hate it when there's chaos and, you know, it's just drama. Yeah. So we're going to try to address everything today. Hope and Fear says best Friday night.
Hey, Hope and Fear, how you doing?
Thank you so much for that. All right, so just to remind everyone that there is a gag order in place, so just keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. And they did say it extends to the family, but they actually say any attorney representing a witness, victim, or victim's family. So we just want to remember that. You know, that the cops can't talk and Taylor can't talk. There is a gag order in place. Okay, so are we ready to dive in?
Yeah, that's really important because everybody's talking around them, but remember that those that know the facts are not.
Exactly. Yes. Sherry says, just another enthusiastic Grizzly. Thank you so much. Yes, exactly. Okay, so now Ann Taylor, that is what the topic is today. Who is Ann Taylor? She's now, Sunny, let me know if I'm saying it right. A Kootenai. I say Kootenai. Kootenai from the Netherlands. a Kootenai County public defender.
That's we're just going to say a KC public defender.
KC.
Yeah, a Kootenai. I think that's it too. Yeah, public defender.
Yes. So, you guys, who is Ann Taylor? I've gone down quite a rabbit hole today, okay? As you know, I do. I've been working hard on this presentation for you so that you know exactly who Ann Taylor is. And we don't want to throw any shade at her. She's doing her job, okay? So, firstly, she's the chief public defender of Kootenai County or KC County in Idaho. And she is an Idaho native who graduated from the University of Idaho with a bachelor's in political science and a master's degree in public administration. She also got a doctorate degree from the University of Idaho in 1998. Thank you so much, Ultra Dark.
Yeah.
Kootenai. Thank you, Pernille. Okay. So from 2004 to 2012, she worked for the Public Defender's Office before her public practice. And she now serves on the board of the Idaho Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers and is death penalty certified in Idaho.
Mm.
Worked for 5 years in the Kootenai County Prosecutor's Office. And when John Adams retired as the Chief Public Defender in March of 2017, then Ann Taylor became the new Chief Public Defender. Her statements are Kohberger is definitely going to mount a strong defense. And she said it's such necessary work. It's important to make sure that constitutional rights apply to everybody. You help people who are facing horrible crimes, horrible times. I love the work, she said.
Yeah.
Okay. Any thoughts about that so far?
Yeah. I know we are focused very much on the victims, but I also want to bring our lens back to the criminal justice system and how it is very important, like Ann Taylor said, that everyone have the opportunity to justice, because we don't want someone going to prison, and there are plenty of people currently in prison who are not guilty of the crimes that they have been accused of because they didn't have proper counsel, and their counsel wasn't able to mount a defense. And it is, even though we might not like it when it seems like it impacts us, but don't forget the justice system is supposed to be balanced. So we have to have people that represent those who are accused, and we also want them to have the best defense. So if they are guilty, then they are not able to get out because they can't say what a lot of people have claimed before, ineffective counsel. And
Yes.
I do remember Ann Taylor is not just a public defender. She is someone in that community. That is where she's from. That is where her and her family reside. She went to, this is her alma mater, but she is really doing her job. So while
Yes.
we might not like it that she's defending him, if we were in trouble, if we were in need, if someone in our family, we don't want them to have shoddy counsel. We want them to have very good counsel. So we know that they are getting the defense that they need to address the charges. And I just think we need to, everybody, if we could slow it down. This is a very emotional time. And we all want we want the best for the families at all costs,
Exactly.
and for the victims.
Exactly. And of course, Bryan Kohberger, you guys, just I always remind everyone, is innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. And we do want him to have a fair trial. And I mean, I'm assuming that having the chief public defender, he's got the best public defender. Would that be fair to say?
Well, yeah, he has one of the best in that office, and often because because she is the chief public defender, but and she is also death penalty certified. Now, even though we don't know until later whether this will become a death penalty case, you don't want the death penalty attorney coming in after the fact. You want them on the case from the very beginning so that they're not having to get up to speed. And most often in high profile cases like this, the person that leads the office will take the mantle of the case and build a team around them. And I'll talk about what we need to talk about later on this, but
Yes, yes.
we just want to do, thank you, SW4x4. We got to
That's
notice
right.
that little tax, but we do want to stay focused on the main thing is who did it. Can we get it, the conviction, and can the conviction stick, and the families get a measure of justice?
Exactly, yes. So you guys, for all of you saying, but the families were also defended by her, and we're going to get into all that. What do you think I've
Yeah.
been doing in all those rabbit holes today? I went through every single court record for every single family member I possibly could.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I went
You
back to
did
the
it,
beginning.
G. When you showed me this earlier, you really let's give G a round of applause, because let me tell you, she's got to be the best that there ever was at. You make a sharp private investigator.
Thank you so much. We're investigating from our office here, you guys. All right, all the way from the Netherlands. Okay, so now on January 3rd, So I'd like you to hear thoughts on this. On January 3rd, Ann Taylor stopped the cleaning of the crime scene at 1122 King Road, and then she went there for about 45 minutes to inspect it. But she was only officially Bryan Kohberger's defense attorney on January 5th, 2023. Is that how it goes?
Well, paperwork may have been in process, and she may have been untangling herself and her office from the other cases, and it is a process. So you need to get things in writing and all of that kind of stuff. So that may have been the reason why they may have already known, but they were doing the paperwork process of that.
Yes, and if you guys missed the previous episode where Sunny was on with us talking also about the Idaho case, we did also talk about them maybe cleaning up the scene a little soon,
Oh,
for
yeah.
comfort, just a little
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, I in my opinion, it was definitely they should have still left it there. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so now we get into what we've been diving at for you. So Xana Kernodle's mom, Cara Northington is how she's known, but it's Cara Kernodle on the court system. She was arrested on November 19th, 2022, 6 days after the murders, and charged with 2 felony counts of possession of a controlled substance. She's actually listed on the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office as an active wanted person. She's been working with Ann Taylor since 2017, and when I say working with, but Ann Taylor's defended her a few times. We're going to get into that. Her August 2017 misdemeanor charges have been adjudicated. What exactly does that mean, Sunny? I was
That
looking up
means
the word
those
and just
cases
checking.
have been cleared. That means those cases have been satisfied and cleared.
Okay,
so
okay.
Apparently, Ann Taylor is a good attorney.
Yes. So I think she's, from what I could gather, I could see at least twice that she's worked with Xana Kernodle's mom, but it's not like 2017 all the way up until January 5th, the end. It's just a few cases, and she's got at least 40 other cases that she's had similar, because she suffers from substance abuse disorder.
Right.
So she's a repeat offender in that way. So many attorneys have actually defended her. So we've got to look at that as well, the whole history. If you can check it out on the court system, anyone can access it. If I can from the Netherlands, you can. Okay, I'll link it below afterwards. So Anne was assigned to her case on November 21st, 2022. And then
that may have happened because she was the last attorney listed on the case prior to. It does not mean that they met, and it does not mean that that they had any engagement necessarily. But she may have been the last attorney on this, and then subsequently she was listed again, if that makes sense too. There's a whole process to the criminal justice system, and while we think everything goes fast, it goes just like this. Sometimes the paperwork doesn't catch up.
Exactly. Yes, that I understand too. So that's why, if you guys didn't know, I said in the beginning, if you're only joining now, Sunny Slaughter is a litigation expert, law enforcement and litigation expert. So this is great to have on to. So feel free to ask some legal questions. We're getting to the big questions later. I'm just working you through the layers as I do. Okay. So she withdrew from her case. So Ann Taylor withdrew from her case officially on January 5th, 2023, and then was assigned to Bryan Kohberger's case as his defense attorney. She signed a substitution of counsel and then passed the case on to another attorney. Any thoughts about that?
Yes. So the substitution and passing it on to another counsel may have been, I think she did that, and it was outside of their office. I don't think she's got a public defender any longer. But I think that's what I read. You all let me know if I'm wrong about that. But it is to take the case. And remember that Ann Taylor is the chief. So her name is going to be on everything anyway. Okay? She's going to have to sign on to all of those things. And I want to go back to something else that you said, G, earlier about her having a substance abuse problem. So one of the things that I've also done in the past, I was the co-chair of the National Caucus the National Opioid Caucus for the United States here. And opioids of any kind and drug use, we have to remember that that is such people that have drug abuse and abuse issues tend to get tangled up, is the word I'm going to use, in the criminal justice system in a way that is very difficult to become untangled from, because they cannot find themselves. It's hard for them to get sometimes the services and support that they need, but also the mental and emotional stability to get off drugs. So this seems like a mom who was having a lot of trouble over the course of her lifetime, which still exists, and that her daughter was her daughter. But when you are a person who is addicted to drugs, the drugs take over your capacity to parent.
Yeah.
So Xana was probably without her parenting, not without her love maybe, but her ability to parent in a way that was important to her. So because she didn't have the funds, she would have been someone in the public defender's office quite a long time, probably even before Ann Taylor got there. So mind you, there's more than one attorney in the public defender's office, but because this is such a high profile case, having to remove the case completely from the public defender's office is what they did to kind of separate. Okay, so the substitution of counsel would have been to remove her case out altogether, which is what should have been done.
That makes sense, actually. Yes.
I know you all probably don't want to hear that, but you know, we got to stay focused on the main thing. The main thing is Xana's mom, even when she's talking on camera and she's talking to the media, we don't know what her capacity is when she's doing that, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what her frame of mind is. And it is easy. And as somebody who is also a human trafficking and exploitation expert, people can get easily exploited and the words distorted when you are talking about, this is emotional for her, drugs or no drugs. Okay. Yes. Now, sometimes my words get muffled because I am somebody that has Bell's palsy, but her thought process is muffled behind all of this. It is muffled. She is in pain. And we got to give everybody a little bit of grace right here.
Yes.
Oh, see, Shelly said she hasn't been in Xana's life since she was 3. So remember, now that she's gone, mom is, everybody's going to her like she had this relationship with her right now.
Yes.
So I just think when we're listening to all of the chatter, G, you and I were talking, we have to take everything into account and we have to slow it down a little bit and take everything into consideration. Now, I'm not preaching to you all today. I'm just really trying to unpack how painful this can be for so many people. But we also have to be proud of Xana. She was in college, okay? Living her life in spite of her circumstances.
Exactly.
Right, I'm sorry. Let me get off the soapbox and let's keep
going. No. You could be on the soapbox and we are pumping the brakes, you guys, because it felt horrible. I was saying it to my patrons. It felt horrible to watch some of the media interviews, of course. Mm-hmm. It felt like exploiting a vulnerable person, I just hated it. PT, thank you so much. Fury is my cat. Thank you for the Fury love.
Love it.
You spoil him. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's see. There is a new attorney assigned, Christopher David Schwartz, and Ann Taylor is listed as inactive in Kara's cases. She's listed in. Yeah, that's just normal. It's not like inactive is like, ooh, inactive in her case. It's what happens in every case when.
Yeah, it's what happens assigned. In every case. It's nothing new at all.
Yes.
And we got to stop these conspiracy theories. Yeah, because it's not helpful for us as the public, and it is not helpful for the families, and it's really not helpful for the victims' memories.
No, and I mean, I worry that people. Well, I'm already seeing a narrative building online, on social media and stuff, saying like these parents were all criminals. That's why he attacked them. That's the last thing we ever want to say, you guys,
Yeah.
ever. And we don't need anyone calling the parents and harassing people. Like, please, we just everybody calm down.
And Erica, I
Exactly.
get what you're saying, that you're concerned that this will be grounds for appeal. Well, remember, there's a judge that is sitting on this. There are a lot of things that we're going on. Remember, all of the information has stopped right now, right? So there's speculation around when people see this and find out something else. So the appeal that you're talking about would be for ineffective counsel, right? Or for the conflict of interest. However, the judge is also overseeing all of this, all of the paperwork, all of the process. And if the judge also thought that there was a problem with this case, then the judge would have a duty to address it as well, right? So when you think about, don't think we're going to get all the way down the line and say, oh my gosh, now they're just finding out this. If we know about it, they're hearing all the chatter too.
Right. And that's sometimes how the media and the public can go. It starts a whole snowball. We're like, oh my word, we know this, but the judge never knew.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this is a disaster. Yeah.
yeah. The judge, and because the judge and the defense the defense counsel, the prosecution, remember, this is also a small town, right?
Yes.
So they already all know each other.
Mhm.
And Ann Taylor's office they would handle almost all of the cases, right?
Yep. Pretty much.
Hey,
It looks like it.
Peter. Yeah, so
Best, best.
they would handle that. This is what they would do in that courtroom. But I'm sorry, but
Oh no. And Blockella says the judge would address it before the trial starts.
yes, yes. So there are a lot of things that the judge is not going to. The case is too important, but there's a process in the courtroom too that
Yes.
you cannot get. The judge does not want any of this foolishness. Judges don't like foolishness in their courtrooms, and this is a high-profile case where everyone is looking at it.
Yes.
Now, the judge has discretion though, but I don't see that. I don't see this on the outside. Yes, could it be a problem? But I just don't see this being something that will get anything dismissed, lessened, or anything like that.
Yes. Thank you so much as well. And Rob says, this is for all your hard work on the case. Because I thank you, Rob. And thank you, Jason. Very much
Yeah,
appreciated.
Rob, you guys, yeah,
You know them
keep
from the
doing
Twitter
that
squad,
more.
huh? Sunny's
Yeah,
part of the Twitter squad. You guys are missing out. I told you. You got to come over to
I
Twitter.
know,
Sunny's
right?
there with us. Yes.
Oh, and look at, okay, and Madison Mogen's dad. Okay, so
Yes.
marijuana is legal in many states across the United States. Now, you don't have to put this in the chat, but there's a whole lot of us when we were growing up, some folks that we know right now who have smoked weed, pot, whatever you want to call it, done some type of drugs. We don't know what his situation is. And as I said before, oh, and all just as I was the co-chair of the National Opioid Caucus, I am also one of the few non-sworn people that have taken the Drug Task Force Supervisor school for the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people doing drugs that they shouldn't be doing, but marijuana. There are a lot of people doing a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing. People go to parties, they have a drink, all kinds of things. Let's slow everything down.
Yes,
Oh,
I
now
agree.
is there a warrant for Xana's mom? Um,
It
I
seems
don't know. I
she's an
don't know.
active wanted person. That's what they say. It does seem like they could be, which is even worse than that the
Yes.
media is like, let us talk to you and ask if you know Kohberger and this and this and this, but then not advise you to turn
Yes.
yourself in?
Now, if there's an active warrant for her and she's giving interviews, then they need to go pick her up,
Yes.
because the active warrant means that the judge wants her in custody. Now, they
Yes.
should not be ignoring active warrants, regardless of the situation. The judge, the person needs to be arrested or turn themselves in for the active warrant and allow the judge that issued the warrant to decide what to do. And in Xana's mom case, depending on her state of mind, it might be in Anna in her best interest to turn herself in and maybe get some help and relief from some of this, because she's doing too many interviews. That's not
Yes.
healthy.
Yeah,
If
that's not
she's
healthy.
not,
I agree.
if she's not healthy, then this is not healthy.
Yes, I agree. So Rotten Rosen said, "This is wild. Ann Taylor represented some of the victims' family." Well, we're looking at that. We're deep diving it so that we can calm down that wildness, right? Because let's look at the actual dates. So Madison Mogen's dad, Benjamin Mogen, was represented by Ann Taylor in 2020. It was in September of 2020 for possession of marijuana, and in April as well of 2020. Sorry, it's not like chronological there, but possession of marijuana. And so out of 23 cases, some are just, an infraction, not wearing seatbelt, things like that. She represented him in 2, and the cases are closed. And
Mhm.
then Maddie's stepmom, Corey Hatrock, was represented by Ann Taylor in 2022. That was in June of 2022 for the same thing, possession of marijuana. And then I just put the little blurb there below that they say of that code and Idaho State, the definition of what this charge is.
Right.
Yeah, so it's nothing like
So
these criminal
clearly,
parents. You know what I
yes.
mean? Like people are starting to say that. No, no, no.
So clearly, Idaho is, and where they are is where these parents are. I guess they're in Idaho, but wherever the parents are, they're the propensity for drug abuse is high, and
Yeah.
but that happens a lot of places. Okay,
Yeah.
and when people are living out their everyday lives, one, they don't think that their children are going to be murdered, and that their lives would then become, their criminal history would then be made public in such a way that people forget their own humanity. I am not saying that it is right, but this happens. And Patty, thanks for saying it's still illegal in here in Utah and in Idaho. People drive to, and they're making the drive. There's the drug, but apparently there's still a community enough for. There's an appetite for it, and that might not be a good word to use, but you know,
Well, I'm in the Netherlands, you guys. It's legal here. There's a
yeah,
lot that's legal here. So yeah, it's unfortunate that now the parents' criminal records, yes, are now being dug into it badly on social media, meaning like, look at these criminals and Ann Taylor represented them in conflict of interest. But we are still going to get into it. I'm not here to convince you guys. We're here to
right.
pick Sonny's brain.
Yeah, and
we,
and for you guys to weigh in too, so we can figure out how to be the voices of reason,
yes,
responsibility, and 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 concern with all parts of this case, not just the part that has the hype on there. The Grizzlies, I am telling you, I watch you all on social media stuff, and you all really, you care in a way that I've seen others not, with all of the hysteria. I hope you all know what I'm saying. It's just bad that um, these are somebody's stories that we're telling. Okay,
exactly.
and we just need to
Yes.
remember that.
I missed a comment earlier that says, Sunny, thank you so much from Cachet Durant. Addiction is not a sign of weakness or low morals. Most addicts I know are some of the kindest people, but just not kind to themselves anymore. Yes.
Right, right, yeah. There's a lot of reasons why. I mean, being a person that works and trains law enforcement does not make me immune to all of the things that impact people's lives. And I think I told y'all the last time, I come from a family of big time gangsters and drug dealers before. I mean, I'm not, but they were back in the day watching American Gangster. Now they were contributors to all of this stuff too. Now they're all
Yes.
deceased, but still, I mean, we all have a past and we all have a future. Let's just hope none of our futures collide with some things that are not right. I'm not condoning it, but I am making the case that we just need to, take a different approach when it comes to addiction, to the murders and everything. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Exactly. And guys, we are going to get to the big questions. Don't worry. You know how my presentations go, layer by layer. Then we hit it with the big questions. Okay. So I'm just showing you a screenshot here from the court records, Xana Kernodle, just so you can see there also where at the bottom they say 12/14/2022 warrant / detect order issued, bench, and then substitution of counsel. You can see it listed there for the 5th of January. And Cara said she found out via a friend who saw on Reddit that her former attorney is now representing Bryan Kohberger. And no one's taking away the fact that that would feel horrible. The empathy that I have for Cara's mom, knowing, wait, my attorney was defending me. Now she's defending the person who's suspected of murdering my daughter. That's a lot to take in.
Oh, wow.
But the system is still in place.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's a mom. She's the victim's mom, no matter what the relation, and she has a right not to like it. She has a right. I mean, exactly. A lot of us don't like it, but it's the system that we got.
Exactly. So we're gonna get into some questions here. So what we've done is I've broken down some of the statements made in Xana Kernodle's media interview. So she said, "I'm heartbroken because I trusted her."
I'm not sure about that statement. She trusted her to do what? To defend her in the criminal cases that were before her. The defense attorney gets the case, they care, but they're not best friends.
Yes.
So she trusted her to do her job for her in that case.
Yes.
And she did her job.
Exactly. And on the right-hand side, you guys have said there, the lawyer, says that he does not believe interviews like this are fair. And yes, that's what it feels like. It feels a little unfair, a little savage to have that interview done now. To play on her vulnerable emotions at this time. Thank you, Pernille. We see that play button. Well done, G. And thank you, Sunny. You are light.
Okay, and your second one, she said she pretended that she was wanting to help me, and I can't even convey how betrayed I feel. Well, according to her cases, she did get the help. She didn't pretend. Defense attorneys don't pretend to try to help you. They actually take the case and the facts that are presented, and they do their job. Yes. And we hope that they get the resolution that is in the best interest of the client that they are working with. So she did want to get her help. She probably tried to find her services and support.
Exactly. And you were saying she's a public defender too. So
she's a public defender. So that means when you're a public defender, you are paid through a fund to represent, all of the people. She's not a private. She didn't hire her privately. Yes. That's what I'm saying. So they didn't have this relationship where funds transmitted and she's a public defender. She defends people in the public who don't have money to afford private attorneys.
Exactly.
So that means important. They defend a lot of people.
Yes. Exactly. That's important to note. A public defender.
Yes.
And then she also said Ann Taylor did not notify Xana about this. What are your
She didn't have a duty. She didn't have a duty for notification.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's in the system, right?
Yeah, she did. This is a public defender's sister. They're going to defend a lot of people. She did. I don't believe that she had a duty to notify her. Now, if you have paid your private attorney, and I'm saying I do not believe that. Um, yeah, court appointed. If she was a private attorney and they were currently in a financial situation and that type of, then she would have had a duty to notify her, because she would have been one of her clients like that. But remember, court appointed attorneys, public defenders, they get the cases they get, and that's it.
Yes. And then media says this would require a waiver, something that you sign and that he, Bryan Kohberger, would sign in order to go ahead with this legitimately. So, do
Yeah.
you agree with that?
So Brian, so BK would uh when Ann Taylor became his defense guy, she likely, I cannot see that she would not have told him that at one time or another she was involved with. She would not have gone into the details because that is private information, but she might have said something like that, and that he would have had to agree because he would not want her to she would need to let him know, because he would need to make the decision if that was a good attorney for him to represent him. Even though they're public defenders, you can still say, well, I might not like this person. Can I get another one? They would go before the judge and ask the judge that kind of stuff.
Right? And that's for Kohberger, but which, like, the way that the media portrayed it was that how can this happen to you, because you would need to sign and then he would need to sign, so you both
Correct.
agreeing. But is it like that? Both.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay.
so so you so
Just
you know
checking.
everybody is just, but the way that Kara's making it sound like that she had hired her,
Yes.
and that not that she was her public defender, her court appointed attorney. And if you're representing somebody on one case, then you usually get the same person, because then they have your case file, and they don't have to be caught up to speed on all of the cases that you may have. That's why
Yes.
she would have been automatically like the record, the attorney of record or something.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. I hope
Yeah,
Kara's getting help with her mental
yeah.
health. It's not surprising someone suffering from addiction would turn back to drugs after something as devastating as this. Yep.
Yes, I agree. That is such a good point. And
Yes.
worse. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And
Okay,
we also
so
don't know if Kara is estranged from the family, from the rest of the family,
yes.
because they
Yeah.
would need, the rest of the family would might be together, and Kara might be out here on her own.
Yes, it seemed a little bit like it, which is why I felt it was exploiting a vulnerable person, because, man, she's in such a vulnerable position. It looks almost like she was like living in a car, just
Hmm.
doing this interview, and just is just terrible.
Okay, and so this power of attorney, so that she could help me with getting into rehab. So once again, we're going back to the power of attorney is with the public defender's office. Okay. So if Ann Taylor was not the public defender, was not on her case anymore, it's not like Ann Taylor has this personal agreement. Like, I have an attorney, right? My attorney would, because I paid my attorney, and I don't have a court appointed attorney. She is my attorney. So the paperwork that I'm signing with her to help me do something is different than the power of attorney that is being signed with the court appointed public defender's office. Okay, that is with the public defender's office, and any of them could have could have helped with that process. But Ann Taylor was her attorney at that time. I hope that's making sense to everyone, because it seems like Kara wants to conflate the relationship that existed, and that is not what should be done right now.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you so much for that as well. And someone on some of these, like legal experts on Twitter as well, was saying that for a medical, I don't know what to term it, for medical issues, which would be the substance abuse, then this power of attorney, signing over the power of attorney doesn't apply. They don't do that for medical related criminals.
Well, I have not I have not heard that, but it doesn't mean I'm not a lawyer. Okay, I just played one something. No, I'm not a lawyer, but so what she would have been signing would have been uh just them supporting her, but I don't know about this power of attorney for them putting her into rehab. I'm not sure what that is all about.
And if so, let's say this did happen, then why is she not in rehab right now? Why is she driving
Yeah,
around avoiding arrest?
very good point. Because see, the public defender's office, they're not a what am I trying to say? So they're not like, and forgive me if this sounds cool, the babysitters. They're lawyers. They do the job that they get hired to do, the lawyering. They try to put services in place. And so one of my good friends is a he used to be a federal public defender, right? But they don't do a lot of hand holding. In fact, because they have so many cases, they have so many things. And the very first case that I worked on, that was a capital murder case in Alabama, was with him before he became the head of the federal public defender's office in Alabama. So it's not like I'm unfamiliar, and I'm not familiar with the way that Kara's mother is getting. I mean, Kara is getting this. I just think she's conflating the two, and it's not necessary. So
like this is what I'm saying. If she signed a medical waiver for Taylor's office to get into rehab, then why isn't she there? Because she would have been. She was already arrested on November 19th, Then she should be there, right?
you
So
should be
I'm not
there
sure.
until they have deemed her capable
Yes.
of being released. And
Yes.
then she would go from the rehab probably, to a home or something else. But putting her back, if she was on the streets again, then that's a problem. Or in her
Yes.
car or wherever she was, where she was not stable. Because going from rehab requires you to be going to a stable, leaving there means you need to go to a stable place of for housing, and I happen to work one of those too, where you come from prison and you go to housing and then you get services. I'm just not sure what she needs. Help.
Yes.
Okay,
She does.
this woman needs a lot of help, and if you are a praying person or spiritual, whatever, the universe needs to help her right now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and this is really good. I'm so glad that you did this, because we were talking about this earlier with these public defenders.
Yes. So, how are public defenders chosen? And before you answer that, there's 29, you guys. This is the updated list. Thank you to Barbara, a Grizzly, who sent this to me. There's 29 public defenders that are qualified to handle death penalty cases in Idaho. So this is the list. I've redacted, of course, all the email addresses and things like that. But Sunny, how are public defenders actually chosen?
At random, usually. You go, they're chosen at random. That's how they're supposed to be chosen. But sometimes a judge will say that a particular there's a case that comes before a judge, and they know that a particular attorney that's a public defender has this really unique skill set to handle this type of case. So they may appoint them for that, but they're usually chosen at random. And because Ann Taylor has this background of being a capital murder expert, and because she is the chief, and because this is a high profile case, that's why this may have happened.
Yes. Okay, that makes sense as well. So if Ann Taylor, sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. There's somebody is banging on my son's window. Alex, how embarrassing is this?
Oh no, it's okay. I can even
get them away.
I'll just quickly.
That this person is banging on the window. I'm so
it's
sorry.
all good. It's okay. Don't worry at all. It's real talk here in real life, you guys. Exactly. It's happening. So, do you think that in this case, Ann Taylor was randomly assigned?
I believe that she was chosen specifically for this case. High
Okay.
profile, she's the chief, and
Yeah.
it's a capital murder case.
Okay. So it's just the reason I asked it is because otherwise people say, why can't they choose another one? Or like, why is she the one chosen? Well, she's the chief public defender, exactly. Qualified, of course. There are 29 qualified total. Her name is also on this list, but she's the chief. So she would probably
Yes.
be the best for the job.
Yes.
Based on
And
that?
it's just like the attorney general, like the main, the high profile cases, they want those are the people that would take it. And then the rest of the team would be engaged and involved.
Yes. Okay. Obsessed with for Disneyland says apparently she's the only one in the part of Idaho with the death penalty experience.
Yes, that's what I read earlier, that she is in North Idaho. She was the only one that was death penalty certified. But now also on that list, it said it was only 13. However, remember, she's the chief.
Yes.
She's the
Yes.
boss. So,
Yes.
I mean, it's her case.
So this I see a lot. So what would your comment be to something like this? Like she wants to make a name for herself. Like she's doing this, like as a stunt to promote herself.
Yeah. So in Idaho, she already has a name. That's why she's the chief of the public defender's office. Anytime that you become the chief of the public defender's office, that means you've already made your bones. You're not trying to impress people because you've been selected, because people already know your level of skill and work. And a lot of times, these type of cases, people don't want because they bring a lot of stigma, they bring a lot of shame, they bring a lot of death threats, they bring more problems. And remember, she is not getting paid in the same way that someone that is a private attorney being paid by a family is going to get paid. Let me tell you about cases like this. You have to do the entire case before you ever see any money on these types of cases. When you're appointed on a case, you either have to bill after so much time has passed, and you are definitely putting in more work than you are going to get paid for in hours.
Wow. Yes. And can the judge make her assign another public defender?
Well, for what portion of the case? To take the lead on the case, I believe there are other public defenders working on this case with her. She's not working on the case by herself.
Yes. Okay. And then Elba said she's the only certified death penalty attorney. There's 29 in Idaho. She might be one of the few in that specific area, as we say. And she's the
only
chief.
one in North Idaho where the case is. And remember, if you have to work on this case, you need to be in proximity, because you actually have to meet with your client in person. You have to go over all of the files. You need to be close to the courthouse. You need to be available. There's a lot that you have to do on site. So a person might have to relocate. And somebody said earlier, I understand the law. I've something about, you can't convince me that this won't be. This is everything that I'm saying is not to convince you of anything. It is just to give you the facts based on my knowledge and expertise. But I never try to change people's mind. I believe everyone has the right to have the opinion that they have. And I'm only giving you the information that I know based on the work that I've done for a long time and across the country. But it doesn't mean that everything that I say is 100% true. And if it changes, I have been on television saying that I think this cop that shot someone is going to get this, and it turned out to be something else. And I said, well, you know what? I was wrong, because I am human and I can make a mistake too. I believe that we will see this case, no matter what, play out like it's going to play out. And none of us will know the ending and the verdict until we get to the end.
Exactly. True that as well. Okay,
But
so
there are
let's
29 public defenders, and I'm sure that they're glad they're not on this case.
right. So relieved right now. Oh man. So is this now with everything that we've looked at? And if you're joining later, I hope you'll watch the replay or just go back a bit and catch up at 1.5 speed with everything we've looked at with the other family members. Instead of hyping it up, we're trying to diffuse it just a little bit and look at it from a legal aspect and logic as much as emotions. I understand that, right? But is this a conflict of interest? And does it risk a mistrial?
I believe that the conflict of interest on the surface exists, but I believe that it has been dealt with. And if it hasn't, I believe the judge will deal with it. This case is, like all cases, is too important, but this one is too high profile for it to be something that the judge is not dealing with. I would just want to say again that everyone must remember we are talking about this case as we are getting information that is secondhand and third hand, because those that know cannot speak. They legally cannot say anything. So
Yes.
we won't know. We don't know until we know.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen. G Door, we just got an updated list, and there's 29 actually. That was
Yeah,
reported that there's
it was
13.
29 as of January 26, 2023. I looked it up right before we came on.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay. So
Don't worry, G and I were doing this literally right before we came. She had the list, and I said, okay, but I have on my paper 13 right here next to me, and then G had the list, and then I did it. I fact checked her too.
Yes. Okay, you can answer this one. Hubble Pie says, please can you explain what SME is in Sunny's title?
Subject matter expert. So I'm a subject matter expert in drugs and crimes against persons, domestic and sexual violence, human trafficking case, a lot of things involving law enforcement. There's a lot under there. And I'm a litigation expert, which means I have been the expert. And we'll talk about this. I saw in your stuff on Murdaugh where you were going over and they were trying to disqualify the expert. I've been that. So I do those type of things too. Oh, yeah. I've been hired by the prosecution, by the defense. My job is to review the evidence, know the terms, know the legal stuff, know the law, and to write out an expert witness report. And one of the expert witness reports I wrote garnered a $6 million settlement. It was a human trafficking case against the state of New York and all of its players for a child that is still missing.
Wow.
In 2010. So when I say litigation expert, I've worked both sides. So that's why, and I've spent a lot of time in family courts, and I have friends who are public defenders. I have a lot of judges in my wheelhouse, a lot of attorneys that are prosecutors, and a lot of investigators, and I do it myself. So
okay, so it's Papa Bear says 14 of the 29 are defending, the rest are prosecuting attorneys who are death penalty certified.
Okay. So see,
good to know.
Yeah,
I got the list today.
Papa Bear. All right, but they don't break that out like that on the website, unless I miss it. But thanks, Papa Bear, for clearing it up. What we know.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. Intelligent Grizzlies, all you guys. I love all your questions and your input and everything. So thank you so much. Carrie said you're an amazing resource and professional, Sunny.
Thank you, Carrie B. Look, I love you guys because you're in. Listen, we are all in this together. And we just want the facts now. We just want to know. Okay? But I'm just not for that hype. I've justice for everyone.
Yes.
Even if we don't like them, because we want people in jail to stay behind bars, not get out on. I don't want anybody getting out on a technicality. Exactly. And is it considered unethical? Oh no, I'm sorry, G.
Oh yeah. Firstly, if Ann Taylor learned information about Xana while working with Kara, could there be a chance that the circumstances of the crime come into question?
Well, let me see. So let me make sure I'm getting this right. That Kara,
So,
mom
yes.
would have said something about Xana that could have caused her to get killed.
So I just see this floating around all on social media. This type of question, meaning if Ann Taylor, the defense attorney now of Bryan Kohberger, learned things about Xana from her mom, could that affect the case negatively? Could that be like, okay, no, discredit the lawyer or discredit the victim, or there's the reason for this. There's just a lot. There's many options where this can go. So I
Yeah,
try to
well,
word it as broad as possible.
so Ann Taylor, the public defender for mom, would not disclose. I just have no reason to believe that this attorney, public defender, chief public defender, would have any reason to disclose anything about a former client to the current client, even though the former client's daughter was murdered. If that makes you see how convoluted that sounds? No, I don't think that. I think that question is a no.
Okay.
Because attorneys, good attorneys, ethical attorneys are not going to be discussing things. And I'm trying to figure out what Xana's mom would have been able to say about her. That's point. See, Liz, you got me right there. If they didn't have contact, or if the contact was limited and mom was there on a drug charge, that's all about mom. This was not a family court custody case. This was not this was not anything that involved her daughter. This involved her own criminal activity.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
there would be no reason to share or consider. Is it considered? It is not considered unethical. According to what they have in Idaho, they are approved to lead a capital punishment case, and the law is not as defined that. Okay, let me just be short. The lawyer can decide if there's a conflict. It is not unethical. There's no unethical duty that I can see right here in this case. It might seem unethical, but she won't be called as a witness. She's out on a warrant. Okay. You mean mom won't be called as a witness? Oh,
Yeah.
mom could be called as a witness. I'm not sure what she would be a witness for, like character or something. I'm not sure what mom would be called as a witness for.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so that's good. She won't be called.
Okay. Yes. The beat of the drum sounds more pleasant when it is far away.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And they say attorney-client privilege is the code of ethics for attorneys.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Right on it. Privilege. That means,
Yes.
yeah, silence.
Exactly. Let's see. I think this could be the end of my slide. Let's see. Damn, you guys, we worked through our presentation. Okay.
But
So
there
here's what
was a lot. There was a lot.
Yeah. Yes, I hope it helped a little bit. You guys, we're gonna talk about the Murdaugh case any moment, but
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
just finish with this. Like, I really hope it just helped because I see myself, I get concerned with a lot of hype of like, oh my word, this is preposterous. Like, Ann Taylor was working with the parents of not just one of the victims, but two of them and three parents, and it's these big headlines and like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's just actually look at it. Let's just look at the dates and look at those cases. Are they still open? What happened? Just to see what the legal process was. I hope it helped for us discussing it for you guys so that you guys can know if people are throwing those headlines at you, you know what's up.
Right. So, and wait, somebody just said so Ann Taylor didn't have a relationship with Xana. Xana's mom was Ann Taylor's client.
Yes.
So see that I think that's where we keep getting confused. There was no relationship there, except to the extent that Ann Taylor was defense counsel. Okay.
Exactly.
And that, so the relationship, it's not, they were not friends like that. Every time she got into a criminal case or something, then she was represented by counsel, and Ann Taylor may have been that counsel. Can and ineffective counsel is very specific when you start talking. So what didn't your counsel do? So ineffective and G, if you allow me 1 second.
Oh, yes, yes. Carry on.
So
Yes, please.
so an ineffective counsel would be something like, if I was charged with a crime and my attorney did not do their due diligence by ensuring that they had access to all of the prosecution's material so they could mount a specific defense to get me off. Okay. So the defense is supposed to, the prosecution, I'm sorry, is supposed to provide everything to the defense. But if I'm charged with 80 years and they give my counsel 2 sheets of paper and the counsel doesn't argue that, my defense counsel doesn't argue that they have not provided everything, my counsel did not do their due diligence, and that is ineffective counsel. If my counsel did not, at some point, they can go through the records and somebody else, a new counsel, would come up and they said, well, they didn't object to this, and my counsel was just sitting there when there was clearly something that should have been objected to, and that kept happening, that could be ineffective counsel. So ineffective counsel, you have to prove that. You can't just say ineffective counsel.
Exactly.
It's just not a phrase that I know they say it on TV, but there's a lot that you have to do. And then the courts have to decide. You actually have to go, you have to get another counsel. They have to look over your entire case and then make out those points of ineffective counsel. And then they have to go before the courts, do another trial for that. And then the courts have to decide based on the preponderance of evidence that you have presented with your new counsel to determine if ineffective counsel is what they can do in your situation.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And
It's a
this
lot of work.
question, this will remain, I know. So if you could, one more time, what about Taylor representing 2 other parents? There's actually 3 other parents. It's Xana's mom and Maddie's dad and stepmom in the past.
So I believe that the office, the public defender's office, was removed from all of their cases. I'm not 100% sure, but the office would not likely represent their cases at all. And I think I read something where they were getting where their cases were switched over to private attorneys or another public defender's office.
Now, it did seem so. Yes.
I didn't say this, but so I actually know a lot about what happens when there is a conflict in a case.
Yes.
In 2003, when I was married, and I'm saying this really quickly, but if you all don't know, I had a case where my ex-husband was accused of being molesting my daughter, right? And we lived in Mercer County, New Jersey, right? I was on the school board for the city of Trenton at the time. There was another school board member, my colleague and friend, who was in the public defender's office. The public defender's office, because they were initially thought that they could represent my husband, he was still my legal husband at the time. They had to recuse the entire office because my colleague and friend was the head of the public defender's office. They had to get another public defender's office which was nearby, to then represent him, to remove any conflict at all. So I'm actually aware of how this works personally.
Wow. Yeah. And also, if you guys don't know what Sunny's talking about, she's got a TEDx talk where she talks a lot more about that as well. I will link it for you afterwards.
Smooth Criminal Podcast. You are correct. There's a
Yes.
difference between a private lawyer and public defenders. And they are all professionals. They are all attorneys. They are all skilled in their craft, but they do not do what private attorneys do. They don't do it in the same way. You have to pay for every single thing. They got to wait for their money. There's a lot that they have to do, and they do a lot for very little money. And often they do not get the same amount of respect, and they are good at what they do. A lot of times public defenders are really good at what they do. They work hard for the public.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So to address this, thanks Trina, doesn't matter because now she's representing Bryan and she could have bias towards either side, plain and simple. What would you say to that?
I say we all have some type of bias. We have bias about this case. I think if everyone make a decision right now, who are you? Are you the defense? Are you the prosecution? Or are you the jury? You all decide. And then this is a challenge for you. And then stick to which side you have chosen. And see how your bias plays out. Remember, we are people, we are looking at things, and she could have bias towards either side, but she is also a professional.
Yes. And as the chief, she would be a professional. Yes. I mean, all of them are. I'm just saying she's also the chief public defender.
Yeah, she's the chief public defender. Oh, you have a cat called Sunny. I like that. Remember, she's the chief public defender. Her colleagues do not want her doing anything that will disrupt and dismantle the reputation of their office, because they've got a lot more clients. While she's got the eye and the light on this, remember, they're still defending others.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is not her only case, and not the officer's only case either. Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Carrie B. Love you.
Some of them are saying jury, prosecutor, defense, peanut gallery. And Norm says, can I just sit in the gallery, please?
Okay, see, oh, yeah, and that was one I forgot. Or do you just want to sit? But you see what happens when you get put in that box. You only get to choose one. Are you going to be the prosecution? You're going to be working for the defense? You're going to be the jury? Yeah, and then be the gallery and just sit and listen to the evidence. So remember, if you're in the gallery, you don't have an opinion one way or another. You're weighing the evidence just like the jury. Or no, you're in the gallery and you have an opinion, but you still got to listen to all the evidence just like the jury, right? So the gallery and the jury kind of roll together, but the defense, they have already picked a side. The prosecution has already picked a side. So the next time that we're all together, tell me who you are, the prosecution, defense, jury, or gallery.
Exactly. I see this floating on social media too. Bryan, I went there to buy drugs. The parents supplied their drugs and everyone knows it. I mean, that would be for the defense and the prosecution. This is for court, right?
Yeah.
But what would you say to that? That fear, I suppose.
Have we determined that Bryan had a drug problem?
In the past, he was a heroin addict, according to other friends from high school. But he was apparently sobered up since 2017. That's all we know from, again, as you say, second and third hand information.
Right. Okay. So now heroin is a very hard drug. It's a very hard drug to get off of. So he would have been doing really well to be in school and on heroin. But I mean, not that it's impossible, but I'm sure that was not the only place to get drugs, but if he did, I don't know. I mean, the parents supplied the drugs, but it doesn't mean that the kids were going to give out any of the drugs that their parents might have been giving them. I mean, people that sell drugs and are drug users, they're not good at sharing.
You make a good point. It's just like, well, even if he was, it wouldn't be that's the only house, the only place you could go to.
Yeah, remember, this is college too.
Yes, true as well. Okay. So, any more questions, you guys, or shall we now talk Murdaugh? Do you guys want to talk about the Murdaugh case a little bit? Let's see. MLG Eggplant says sometimes it's your civic duty to be the jury. You don't have a choice.
Yes,
Yes.
that's true. That's very true.
Yes. So if you guys have any more questions or things about this, ask away. But otherwise, shall we talk a little bit about the murder? Are you watching the trial a little bit?
I've been watching your stuff. You're what you roll out. That's how I know. I've had so much stuff going on, but you did really good. I saw you going through the slides. I was trying to watch while I was getting my nails done yesterday.
Nice. So you guys, I have also on Twitter put this out there. If you do follow me there, you might get some of the slides there just with the updated timeline and things that they shared in the opening statements. And yes, for all of you asking, it is 1:15 in the morning for me, and I'm okay. I'm good. I've got lots of energy. We're good to go. Okay, so Alex Murdaugh's trial is happening from January 23rd. That's when it started, up to February 10th. And it seems like the most damning evidence so far, based on the list and everything we looked at, actually seems to be the son's Paul's Snapchat and the phone records and his video as well that he took.
Yes. I was listening to that, and because I believe they said that Alex's voice can be heard on that.
Yes, that's what they said. Yeah.
But then Alex said he wasn't there. But I'm concerned about the evidence with the clothes and the blood spatter. So, one of the things that I was a training coordinator for Homeland Security too, and I used to do. I would get the training materials, and then as we were rotating this stuff out, and so I got a hold of a lot of blood spatter material stuff, and the way they talked about Paul's brain, and it just seems to me that either they did not get the right clothes, because he would have had, if he was close, he would have had blood spatter, or then I was thinking, if he came upon them, he didn't, and he was checking them, he would have had contact blood on him. I'm it's not looking good for Alex, I don't think. And hearing the voice on the whole Snapchat, I'm concerned, G. I'm concerned that he is telling a little one there. No, maybe a big one. Two of them.
Two of them, yes.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss this question just again with Idaho. Sunny, you think the definition of conflict of interest should be taken as written on paper or be assessed case by case? What's your answer? Not a conflict, but change would be better for the case, or no? Say it,
Okay.
please.
So I think case by case assessment, yes. And not a conflict for change would be better for the case. I think that leaving her on the case is I think she could stay on the case. Yes, I think she can stay on the case. And let me explain why. This is her city, this is her town. And she is the chief of the public defender's office, and she has a duty to stay focused on defending the client. And I think that because she is there, I think it's less, she doesn't have anything to prove. and I think somebody else coming in, I think it then becomes the spotlight and highlight for them. Where for her, I just don't think, I just don't think that she's already the chief public defender, if that makes sense.
Yes.
She's already got the spotlight, and somebody else coming in might be so gung-ho with the spotlight, even though they can't talk right now. I just think she's already there in place. So I hope that answered the question. I'm sorry if it was too muddled.
Oh no, that was great. That was great. So about the shirt, I mean, you guys, I've only just seen a bit of this. I haven't even watched the whole thing yet. This was the police interview. Alec Murdaugh breaks down on the night his wife and son were murdered. I mean, is this the shirt in question?
This cannot be the shirt.
Right?
Okay, so all right, so let me look now. He's in the police car after finding the bodies.
Yes. And then he's answering all about it and he's crying.
Okay, so these are my concerns. Look at his hands. Everybody, zoom in real quick. We're going to be investigators. So these are my concerns. If you look at his hands.
I'm going to do it like this. Yes.
So
there's over there, but yes.
Now, he could have some blood spatter that we really can't see. Minute. But I'm looking at his hands, right?
Yes.
If they came upon him and they didn't bag his hands, that's a problem for me. The same way that they would do the victim's hands. Okay. I can't see his I can't see blood, but I can't see the hands on. Okay, so you find your wife, you find your child. Maybe I'm the only one that's hysterical, but there's going to be some blood like all over me because I'm going to be trying to pick up the wife. I don't care if the son's head, you can see his face. I'm going to have blood or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? He's checking a pulse. I'm not seeing blood, and I don't know why they haven't done anything. Why his hands are not covered while he's sitting in the police car putting stuff into the goddamn police car.
Yes. This was released today. If you guys haven't seen it, it was released today. It seems I've only really seen it on Law and Crime Network. I believe it will be released on Court TV and elsewhere later. Here's also a question for you. Sunny, do you know of a case in Alabama? Jeffrey Newsom is said to have killed 41 women, but only convicted of the one.
Yeah, I heard about that case. Yeah, that's not good, is it? Yeah, somebody was just asking about talking about that Jeffrey Newsom case. He said he touched them to look to see. He did not check on them no, it doesn't look like he did. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to distract from the question. I just don't want to miss them. I'm just putting up ones on the screen that I see. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I see. That is the shirt. Yeah, wife. Yeah. So, blood splatter. Now, did you all see that I just have my glasses, right?
Yeah.
So, when you think about blood splatter, if there's a crime or anything and how remnants come. So my glasses would then become evidence because they've been able to find in cases, minute specks of blood in the little hinges and so they would really be wiping my glasses and everything off. And yes, the testing for gun the gun residue and all of that. Now it would be hard to imagine, but it could happen that they wiped his hands off at the scene to test for bagging his hands would have been more appropriate, you all to get the evidence. But I just play a law enforcement expert on TV.
Right. And they're touching the shirt too. They're touching his shoulder. Of course, they're trying to comfort him.
Yeah. And that is the other thing. Law enforcement wants to, you don't they want to limit the amount of contact from in a crime scene from their persons to anyone that might have anything to do. Young children might be a little different, but you got to be careful with all of that contact.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the reason why you have to know every single person that was at the crime scene. There's supposed to be a list. Somebody is literally supposed to be writing down on a piece of paper the time that they arrived and all of that, the time that they left. No smoking, no drinking, no. I know you always see kind of stuff on television. That's not how crime scenes are supposed to be in real life.
Yes. Oh my word. Okay. Is this about the wife had brown hair. I don't know. Is this about this case? Brown hair in her hand, but law enforcement did not think it was important. They also disregarded the footprint on the wife's leg. This case looks bad. Oh boy. If it's about this case, interesting.
Well, that should not be in a homicide like this. Everything matters.
Yes, and they're saying that's his
Okay,
lawyer.
and so see, then the lawyer and all of that is problematic. Everybody has to not stop touching everything.
Yes.
Okay, if you're ever involved in anything, I want you to remember this: don't touch anything. Don't put your hands on it. Don't touch other people.
Yeah. Yes. Good point. He drove away from the crime scene to get a shotgun and come back allegedly. Wow. So, you guys, if you missed it, we've read through the expert opinions, which Sunny's also got experience in writing up things like that. So if you missed that, I went through the whole document. It was, I think, over 2 hours, and we went through both. So go check that out, because there's a lot of detail there about the shirt. One expert saying, of course, it can be tested. There's 100 little stains and things. And then the other expert saying, nope, there's nothing there. And they, all kinds of stuff. So go and check that out.
And the experts have to, it depends on who's hiring you. But I will say this: when you write an expert witness report for a court, you are writing your professional objective opinion that you have to back up with facts, okay? And when you are doing it well, and as should be, if the case is not as, you should not, as an expert, write your case to the benefit of someone just because they're paying you, if that makes sense. I have been in a case and they were paying me well, but I said, okay, so I think your client is guilty based on what I'm looking at here, and I wrote my report based on facts, not based on the fact that was the person paying me. And it doesn't, because I actually have to get up on the stand to testify to what I'm writing in my report. Like, it goes to my credibility, and you can get a DARPA motion, is what they call it, and you might not be allowed in courtrooms anymore. So you have to be really careful as an expert to see things the way that you see them, provide the facts the way that you get them, so you can argue your point like they did like they were asking for the expert witnesses stuff in the case to be thrown out. That's because if they don't throw it out, then the witness has to be able to get up on the stand under cross-examination and defend the expert witness report that they wrote. Yes. It is not an easy thing to do. And so you better know what you're doing.
Exactly. So you guys, I'm not going to play this clip now because it's 34 minutes and 35 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to play it now, but it is on Law and Crime Network, and we can at some point maybe go through this together. I mean, I would love to do that, but not right now. Right now, we just want to hear generally Sunny's thoughts on the case. What is your overall thought on the Murdaugh case so far?
I think they actually picked a jury really fast.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I was surprised. But I listened to the opening statements of the prosecution. The prosecution came out really strong. I think they are really clear-minded and set about the direction that they're going in. Now, the defense, I thought they were going to do better. I was like, well, is that all they have? But they are the defense, and they actually don't have to prove what the prosecution has to prove. So the burden of proof is on the prosecution, and I think the prosecution better be ready to defend everything, including all of the potential missteps in the investigation. I think that this is a Alex Murdaugh was an attorney, was an attorney.
Yes.
And I think that I think the case can go either way. Having money is very interesting, but if the jury stays focused on the facts, and I want to continue to watch this play out, I have not made an opinion as to his guilt, but I think as I was putting together my own reel on this, there is definitely a saga and to the Murdaugh family, their legacy, their life, their money, and there's a lot of people that die around this dude. So I just don't think he's safe.
Right.
If he's not guilty, he is very unsafe.
Yes.
And
That's
I
a good
feel
way to put it.
sorry for his son. I think
Yes.
we should not forget that he has a son that is literally sitting in court, and this young man has a lot to contend with in his own mind about whether his father murdered his mother and his brother, and whether
Yes.
he's going to continue to stick by his father based on not how he feels, but then what he ultimately learns.
Exactly. I think I'm just looking at Buster Murdaugh's age. I think he's only 25 or
And,
26. So, wow.
and
And he's
that's
just
a
sitting there
lot.
listening to all this. Yeah. And some of
Yeah.
it's really graphic, One of the points someone made earlier is with Alec Murdaugh, saying that he checked Paul and tried to roll him over. A little bit of an odd statement too, red flag, because as we know how graphic it was, like the brains were out.
Yeah, and I'm looking at his hands in there, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, you didn't do this. You know how to kill. I'm not sure
Yes.
how he turned him over. That's a
Exactly.
lot. There would have been a lot of blood, a lot of everything.
Yes. Yes. It sounded. I mean, wow. The defense team went in strong with that graphic.
Yeah.
The graphic facts. So yes, and he is, of course, presumed innocent or proven guilty. So of course, Sonny makes a great point. Of course, it's for the prosecution to prove that he's guilty. That's the big challenge ahead. So the quick facts that I have here for you, as I say, I put this slide on Twitter as well. We've gone through it before, you guys, but I just added some more things to it as more things unfold. So the reason it's like there's a lot of deaths surrounding Alec Murdaugh and the family would be Stephen Smith's case, which is still unsolved from July 8th, 2015. And then Gloria Satterfield, the housekeeper.
The housekeeper? I know. Oh gosh.
Yeah, there's that, and of course Mallory Beach. I mean, that was a drunk boat crash accident as well. So there's that too. And they did say that the judge, this was from a few days ago, the judge approved a settlement. The amount is not announced or to be determined, and it's a $50 million lawsuit. And so,
wow.
yeah. So that was actually really positive for the family. Positive news that they are gonna have that settlement as well. Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
and
so
Paul was charged with 3 felony.
yes,
There's a lot going on here. I just think
it's
he's
like
going to. I just think he is just going to get himself in. He is in a lot of trouble. He's not going to get in trouble. He is.
right. I really felt like, oh my word, is such a strong defense team. But I must say, like, ooh, even if they say, where's the evidence? What about the shirt that can't be used and all of that? But like the phone records here, if they can prove that that's his voice, and then there's the Snapchat, and I mean, within 3 minutes, hearing his voice, from when you hear it to them being shot is quite something as well.
Yes.
So,
and that's you can't run up to that's falling property. You're not gonna make it in 3 minutes because I'm out of shape. He looks like he was out of shape then too.
right? Yes. I wish I could say your name properly. I Skull Aksu. OA music. Okay, behaviors change. Okay, but he sees the bodies and no fear about the possibility of a killer who could still be on the property to catch and kill him. He said he called 911, got the gun, waited with the bodies, and then, yeah, pew.
Yeah, that's a lot going on, right? Mm-mm.
It's also so strange how I just went over that again today because he initially lured his wife there to say, "Can you meet me here? And then we'll go visit my dad." But
Right.
then the story is that he tells police is I went quickly to my mom, which he did. He went to that Alameda
Mm-hmm.
facility because his mom suffering from Alzheimer's. So it's so strange how it switches from meet me here to visit the dad, but then actually we're going to visit my mom. That's just I found that so strange.
The fact that he tried to, we haven't even gotten into the part where he tried to kill himself, or so we remember that he tried to shoot himself, and he just he's got a lot of problems. Alex does.
Oh, oh yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about. This,
remember when he tried to do the whole fake
yes,
shooting? Oh,
he did that. He did that. You guys, I'm
yeah,
thinking, wait, what? So yeah, it was. Let's go forward a bit. That one.
yeah. He just. Mm,
Yeah, no,
mm.
this guy. Wow, this this criminal
Um,
profile.
People with money. I mean, it just goes to show you having money means nothing if you got
Yeah,
a lot of problems. Yeah.
right. I mean, the properties they had, the resources, the legacy, the everything. To think of what
And
happened here.
and still not be happy. Just
Yes,
ridiculous. Yeah. Oh,
yes,
hire Eddie Smith. Yeah. I mean, mm-mm. He has many
yes.
enemies. Yeah. Apparently, he's an enemy. He's his own worst enemy.
Exactly. He has many enemies, but he's his own worst enemy. Exactly. Yes.
Oh yes, that's
This.
what I meant when he had somebody shoot him. Well, I was thinking that was sort of a attempted suicide when he had the guy try. That is just.
Yes.
I mean, who does that? Oh my gosh, this is just like a hot mess with him.
So he said his motive was money and he wanted his son Buster to receive the $10 million life insurance policy on his name. So if you guys don't know, we can go over this sometime again, but I have gone through it before. If you didn't check it out, it's on the Murdaugh playlist as well. Just to see all these events. There's a lot of strange events surrounding this case. And I did
Mhm.
a trial prep episode for you that you could check out if you haven't yet. If you're lost, if you feel lost, don't worry. That episode will get you all up to speed. But yeah, that's it's all just what a strange case. Honestly, like there's so much surrounding this guy. And to think that he's accused of shooting his son and his wife in such a horrendous way as well. It's terrible. Yes, that's true, Rob. He was also a thief and a swindler most of his life.
Yeah, see that. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say that he's guilty. I'm just going to say that he is not guilty.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not guilty, you guys. Okay, so these are those other cases that we've looked at before as well. So as I say, go check out the trial
Wow.
prep episode. Yes, Gloria Satterfield. I mean, they said they exhumed her body.
Gloria, I mean,
I
can you
mean, and then
imagine? What was he thinking?
I mean, 20 years. She knew them for 20 or to 25 years. So it seems like all. It reminds me a lot of that Brian Walsh, huh? Which I know you know about too.
Yes,
It's
yes, yeah. Oh
much
God.
worse. I think this one is like Brian Walsh on steroids a little bit, but it seems like
Yes,
that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the Anna Walsh case. Yes.
yes. And he's a hot mess too. I don't know what's going on with these like men and husbands. Like, do they not know how to go to divorce court?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can do
Maybe.
it online now these days too. Get divorced.
Right? Maybe you can make some videos, right? How to get
How to
divorced.
get
Could be
divorced?
could be helpful. I think
Oh,
it was trying to make it look like whoever killed Maggie and Paul was after him. Probably.
yeah.
And the first thing he mentions was the boating
Yes,
crash.
yes.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I just think one of the things that we should think about with both of these cases is to remember the victims. Um,
Yes.
in the Murdaugh case, to be, if he is guilty of this, and he seems to be guilty of a lot of things, uh, or at least it just seems that way. What a horrible way to live a life not a life, but a lie. Really deceiving your family, your wife, your children into believing that you love them and care about them and to do the things that he has done. Um, One thing that we know that justice will come to him one way or another.
Yes.
And it's just difficult. And with BK, if he is guilty of these heinous crimes of these four innocent, thriving individuals, justice will come to him too. It may not be the justice that we want. It may not be when we want it, but it comes to all of us at some point when we do not do the things that we should do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting. Lisa says it seems like Alex, if it is he, chose the time of day for the crime because of difficulty collecting evidence.
Yeah. That's a good,
Calculated.
yeah, calculating. And it's just like, what? Oh yeah, so there was a family homicide. Yes, the in Utah, the family of the father killed the entire family.
Oh,
I
yes, yes.
like
Yeah, I
what,
saw that.
5 or 6 people or yeah.
Yes. It's
And
absolutely terrible.
he should have got divorced too. It's just ridiculous. All these look, everybody listening, if you are not happy with your person, just get a divorce or like get separate housing or something. But we don't want to be talking about you on this because this is ridiculous. Yeah, we don't
Yes,
need any more
exactly.
cases. This is terrible.
Yes, exactly. And to circle back around, there's some questions I missed in the Idaho case. Actually, someone said Glory said the mom. So we're back to Idaho. Just switching gears
Hmm.
for a second. So Xana's mom will be interviewed for what she wants when sentencing takes place.
Yes.
Fact. Okay.
Well, she is one of the family members. Now, okay, so let me say, so the family, they will ask the family what they think about all of this. And I am sure she will, I'm not sure, she will likely be in there with the rest of the family. But remember, she is not the only family member.
Yes. Exactly.
And her presence and state of mind, we keep looking at her because she's mom, but Xana clearly was raised or and engaged with other family members who we don't want to just focus on her because she's the birth mother, because she, you know, she just doesn't, she's not going to be the only factor in it. What do women do if women are scared of getting a divorce? Make a very good plan about how you will take care of yourself. If you feel that your life is in danger, once you have finances in place, plan in place, like a location. If you have children, you need to figure out what that looks like for your children. If they are in care, if they are in your care, then what you would do is you would reach out to the nearest shelter or services, and then they can help you make a plan and file for a divorce in a way that helps you get whole again. Everyone should be whole, even when they, if you're not happy, then you want to live the best life that you can, regardless of whether you're a woman, a man, or identify as other. People need to be made whole, and working with institutions and agencies to develop a plan is the safest way to do that. But always remember, there are no guarantees to safety on a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
have to be proactive, you have to stay focused, and you have to do what is necessary to protect yourself.
Yes. You've also done a lot of work in domestic violence, right?
Yes, I am
Yes.
the first and only state coordinator for the Alabama Silent Witness Initiative on domestic violence. Domestic violence is one of my specialties. I am also a domestic violence instructor formerly for the U.S. Department of Homeland Security.
Okay. As I say, you guys, in the intro, I can't even put the bullet points there of everything Sunny does. It's
Yes,
amazing.
it is one
So,
of my highlight things, and domestic violence is terrible. I have seen and been to enough crime scenes and enough enough cases
Mm.
where people are not alive anymore, and it is not even young children. Well,
Yeah.
my youngest victim of a domestic violence, teen dating violence case was 18. She is
Wow.
dead. He killed her, and the U.S. Marshals had to go find him, but they did. Her name is Haley Green. Her name was Haley Green.
Wow. Yes. I'm sorry about that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for everything you share with us as well. It's you
Thank
can
you.
cry. You can cry here. You can be here with the Grizzlies. It's really nice to learn from you and to hear about these cases firsthand as well. Um, Icicle Aksu says, "Promise this is the last. I looked at their family photo. The son in trouble for the boat case, and the wife who knows the finances are dead. Killing two birds with one stone. Again, another Turkish proverb. The son, who exactly looks like him, is alive. Scary."
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You are
Yes.
absolutely right. How horrific that is.
Yeah. We're being hired by the NYPD up here.
Woohoo! Hey, Peter, I just talked to I don't know if you know Detective Ralph Friedman. Detective Ralph Friedman was one of New York uh, NYPD's finest. He was also an undercover cop. I talked to him today
Hmm,
about his cases. Yeah, one of the most
okay.
dedicated cops there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, Caroline, don't you be talking about me like that, girl.
It's a true crime,
I love you, Grizzlies.
true
I
crime
love
community
you
legend.
all. I know I know this was like a really tough case today, and thank you, G, for having me. Thank you for the amazing work and effort that you put in. It is really late there where you are into the morning. I should say it's really early, but you are. Let me tell you all, I admire G so much. She puts in the work like I've never seen before, and I want my show won't ever look as good as hers, but I hope to with her help do more things, not in the same way, but more. But you are just you give the you give facts, and you keep the tone really low, and everything, and I think that's what's best in these type of cases, so people can get really good information without the hype, without the play. And I just thank you for every single thing that you are doing. You might be in the Netherlands, but you are all over the place, and you are a global expert in doing this, and thank you so much for all that you do. Grizzlies, you got a true leader, and I mean, just you are my shiro.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. And you saved the day today. I felt like, oh my word, I'm gonna have to call in the troops. I'm calling Sunny, you guys. It's a very important conversation. So if you missed it in the beginning, if anyone's just joining now, because some people joined late, they're like, oh my word, you're live. I didn't get a notification. Please watch the replay because we went over everything, presentation and all in the Idaho case. We touched on the Murdaugh case a bit, but you definitely want to see it if you missed the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, so thank you so much. And yes, we can't wait to see what you do with your channel as well. I am linking it. It's in the description box, you guys. But Sunny's got her own YouTube channel. I see a lot of you going over there. We need more of you going over there.
Yeah, thank you so much. And look, I'm working, but I don't know if you knew, I became the associate producer on law a law enforcement show, and
Is that Crime Door or?
on it'll on A&E, so it'll pop
Oh,
A&E, but not in March. But that's like all new. I've never been an associate producer on like a real show, uh, and I'll keep you guys posted. But I'm like
yes.
trying to learn that, trying to still run my business. It's like a lot going on, so I'm trying to do my best. And I don't have like good reels up, but I'm trying. I'll get there. Thank you guys for following me. I mean, you all took my number. I was like, oh my gosh, I was so.
Go over there, Grizzlies. If you haven't subscribed yet, go subscribe to Sunny Slaughter. I mean, there's lots of exciting things happening for Sunny. Wow, A&E. producer.
Yeah,
Okay.
A&E, right?
You're going to be on a show on Monday. Am I allowed to say? Am I
Yeah,
allowed to
yeah,
say? Oh,
yeah.
Law and Crime Network on
Yeah,
Monday. Are you
yeah.
talking? What are you talking about on Monday?
I'm supposed to go over like several of the cases, like we just did tonight. Talk about several, of the cases. I got to still get everything that we're going to be doing. I kind of made that appointment. They scheduled that with me a couple of weeks ago, so I'm sure I'll know by Sunday what I'm talking about. But it's all the cases I think that they've covered for the month of January. So it'll be
Okay.
touching on a little bit of here and there. Tomorrow I'm on a radio show talking about the mass shootings out in California. So
Yes. Okay. Well, we're very excited to see that. We'll be
thank
supporting
you.
you. The Grizzlies will be right behind you. We're cheering you on all the way.
Look, and I'll shout out to the Grizzlies.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. They
Thank
like
you.
waived.
Thank you, Peter, so much. Thank you so much, you all. I really do love you guys. I thank you so much. Keep asking me the hard stuff. Keep challenging me. Let's unpack it together with G. I'll be, signing in on my thing. I try to respond. I'm a little behind, but just work with me because it's like thousands and thousands. She has like the largest following out there, so it'll take me forever to get to you all, but I'll
Right.
try.
That's what I say always. I try. It's not always
Yes, I
easy.
tried.
Cute. We could be sunny bears. Oh my word. That's
Oh my God! So they didn't see this the last time, did they?
no, you guys, I saw this behind the scenes last time. Sunny
Yeah.
has a bear tattoo.
Yes, I do. I have one. I got it a long time ago. Yeah, but yeah, I've been a grizzly for a long time.
That is so awesome. Oh my
and,
word.
and the sunny bear is actually what we used to say, sunny bear. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And Crack and Creative Studio says, I'm a producer. Reach out for any advice. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like send me some stuff. Like, okay, let's connect. I'll be sure to reach out. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Love
So
you
if they do
guys.
want to, if they want to find you, I mean, I've linked your LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter and everything. Is that where they can find you, right? They can message you
Yes,
there.
yes, and several of them are on my Facebook too, and I've been connecting. I see them following. I call them out, on my stuff and everything. You all are the only ones that I call out. You are like my family, so and I'm following all of your Twitter. I can literally go on Twitter and follow everything in on your page and catch up without having to watch the news.
Right, the Grizzlies, we're all very busy on Twitter. I'm telling you guys, I was one that wasn't on Twitter, but now that I am, it's just so great. There's so many Grizzlies over there, and the news is just popping off there, and we all keep each other in the know. It's really nice.
Yeah,
Come and follow us over
I mean,
there.
it
Yes.
really is. I literally am able to follow stuff. I go to your channel. I was on your channel at the shop because I said I didn't have time to do stuff, and I know that you're going to unpack it. So I'm in there, and somebody says in the name, what are you watching? Oh, I'm watching the Grizzly True Crime. Don't you watch the Grizzly? I'm talking to the, and so I was telling people in there. Yeah, do you have shirts? Like I got to get a shirt or something. They say
Yeah,
Grizzly.
yeah. We've got a whole Grizzly merch range. Yes.
Okay, well, I'll go on there and I got to get me some merch so I can be looking good for the next time I come on.
But everybody loves your shirt today. They're literally buying super stickers for it. They're like, damn, know your
Thank,
worth. And then add text. Yes.
thank you, thank you. I have a lot of shirts with words, so this is this is my thing here.
We
One of
love it.
them. Thank you so much for sharing my stuff. But listen, we got to let G go. It is what 2:00 in the morning now almost. It is
It
very
is.
okay. So we got to let you get some rest.
You guys, Sunny's the only one that can tell me, go to bed.
Yeah, look, go to
Like,
bed.
it's
Yeah,
just like,
I'll be
oh
like
no, go to bed.
55. I'll be 55, so I'm like the boss of everybody. Yeah, it's time for you to literally go to bed. You've been up working hard all day because you were up texting me this morning, and
I was working hard on that presentation for you guys. So, but I really appreciate your time here with us. It was so important to have the conversation. I really hope you guys, if you watch it now or the replay, whatever, that it's diffuse some of the hype. That's what we want to do. That's the main mission.
yeah,
Just chill, everyone. Yes, don't get all hysteric now. We're all good. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you, mods. I know this was not our usual time either. It was great. I hope you guys have a great evening. For you guys in Australia, a great day ahead, because for them it's morning already. They're like 10 o'clock in the morning, I think.
Wow.
Let me put slow mode
Oh,
off here. Then you
it's
guys
1
can check.
a.m. in Ireland. Whoa, wow.
1 a.m. in Ireland, almost 2 a.m. here in the Netherlands. Yes.
Jennifer. Okay,
Oh, and
everybody go to bed or go to bed, sleep well, or get up, do great work, and just stay
one
safe.
more. Peter Pronzo, Lieutenant Peter Pronzo said, I do know the Friedman brothers, Stu and Ralph, two of the very best of the NYPD. He did answer.
Wow, love it. Love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much, Grizzlies. If you want to find Sunny Slaughter on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube, everything is linked in the description box. And I will link it afterwards in the pinned comments. Probably tomorrow, because Sunny told me I must go to bed now.
Yes, night.
I'll probably do that tomorrow, yeah. So thank you so much again for being here with us.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it. And Grizzly, we'll see Sunny again back soon. And Sunny will be on Law and Crime Network on Monday. So we'll see when that airs as well.
Thank
All
you
right.
so
Any
much,
closing words except go to sleep?
No, you all just be safe. Take care of yourselves. And hopefully nothing will change. And I'll be on Monday on Law and Crime Network. And
Yes.
I don't know. You all might see me do this a little bit. That'll be for you guys.
Yeah. Grizzlies.
Grizzlies or I'll do this real quick just to hit my arm so you'll know. One of the two. Look for that.
Exactly. We will look for that. So thank you so much, everyone. And if you are a member or a Patreon here on Grizzly True Crime, I'll probably have a members and patrons on your stream this weekend sometime. I want to deep dive the Elliot Roger manifesto and all of that. So make sure you check out for your notifications as well. Remember to like, share as well. You can hashtag Sunny Slaughter too, hashtag Grizzly True Crime, and we will see you. I'll see you in the next one, you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, bye. Bye.